talk about why we need more money for the Pentagon.
Yes, let's.
All right, let's talk. I mean, actually, it was even a year ago after that big, beautiful bill passed. They went back for saying, oh, literally senior officials at the Pentagon said, we don't actually know what to do with this money. We didn't ask for this. You guys gave us more than we asked for. We don't know what to do with it. Oh, okay, great. So now you got more money. Let's do a war. Guess what? We are using tens of thousands of dollars of munitions, like a Tomahawk missile, to fight hundreds of dollars worth of drones.
Yes.
When we talk about asymmetric warfare, we usually talk about, different types of kinetic activity. We talk about, integrating tech and ground fighting, the imbalance of power. I've never thought that we would be at a time where the asymmetric warfare is huge missiles that cost millions of dollars and something that, Russia can mail over to you in a box.
Well, it's kind of funny. Earlier today, I was thinking, welcome to naval guerrilla warfare. And here's the thing, you're hitting it on the head. I worked at Missile Defense Agency. I was a war games planner for this region of the world. What people need to understand, the cost of the rounds that we have of ammunition that knock down these drones. We're talking multi-million to a couple of $1,000s. That's not even talking about, like you mentioned, the Tomahawk inventory that we've gone through, multi-millions of dollars every time we shoot those things, and to shoot them in the wrong spots, i.e. the children's school, the girls' school that was hit. And by the way, Congress was grilling Hegseth on this past week. Like, where's the investigative report? They were getting on Admiral Cooper, Brad Cooper, who's the military commander. Where's the report? Gillibrand was killing him. This is ridiculous. And as we talk about,
we're really going to answer this with a report. That's classic.
Right. Exactly.
But at least give it the lip service to do the report. They're not even doing that.
And so it's funny, as we're having this conversation in the chat, people are talking about what just popped up, New York Times. Thomas Massey, the one Republican that tried to stand up to this guy, has been ousted. He's been primaried out. Okay. Yep. So when people think we're at the end or there's this blue wave is going to come, this right here shows you there is work to be done, because you now have Republicans asking, what is the end game here? The Senate is over here responsible for foreign policy on behalf of the people, and they don't even know the questions to ask. To watch Hegseth get up there. By the way, when are they going to bring up Marco Rubio and put his ass up there in front of the goddamn Congress? How has he been able to avoid all of this? Have you noticed that?
That's still that old. Well, he's one of our own. He probably still has good relationships. Like, this is what's the problem with the establishment in the Senate. I mean, I keep reminding my students and other people, the average age of a U.S. Senator is 67 years old.
Good Lord.
Right? So they are living in it's average. That means how many of them are beyond that? So they are living in an alternate reality. And some of them are like, oh, well, Marco, we still have access, or we can still talk to him. But that's also probably because Rubio isn't involved in the Middle East. He's too busy trying to be viceroy of all of Latin America. Like, there's the whole Cuba debacle.
So you literally must have seen what I had.
Where are we going to go with all this?
Cuba. Please explain to me why the hell that's even coming out of people's mouths right now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this idea that Cuba is a threat to the United States, that's Cold War era politics, right? Like, this is not. Russia's not even looking. It's not like Russia's sending a bunch of missiles and might actually aim them. Like, we've been there, done that, saw how that played out. Raul Castro is probably
94. He's 94, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, but this is not a regime that is doing great these days. They're really on their last legs, and the whole going in and grabbing Maduro was to stop the oil flows to Cuba. Okay, so Cuba has no oil. They have, they're running low on humanitarian assistance. Like, all of that has been successfully blockaded, right? And I mean successfully because I'm like, again, why do we care so much? It's Cuba. Right. I get it. They're 90 miles away, but it's a communist country that is not fully functional, right? As a state right now. But that's still, the threat and concern. And lo and behold, we find out that Russia has sold 300 military-grade drones to Cuba. And so, all right, let's send the CIA director down there to have a stern conversation with them. And I sit here and look at this. I'm like, what did you think Cuba was going to do? You could have just left them alone. Let them, mismanage their own government, economy, all of that. Let them do that. But now what? Once again, we're now worried about drones.
Yep.
Right? Like with all of our military might and all the other skills we have, that's the concern that the Trump administration has. So this is where the Rubio piece comes in. His dad, I mean, this comes down from his dad, who is in exile from Cuba, and Rubio being Floridian, Cuban Republican, right? Like this is his vision of freeing Cuba is essential to who he is and why he went into foreign policy. We're not shaking that loose from him at this point. And he's getting away with it because, Iran and China.
So here's something that I connected earlier today. It snapped in my mind. Drones, right? Mm-hmm. So I was asked a question on another podcast, what are we seeing? What are they saying about, what are your thoughts on Iran and drones? And what do you think about the war in Ukraine? I'm like, I'm going to connect the two. Mm-hmm. The American century is over. The Soviet century is over. And the war in Ukraine and the war in Iran is showing you this. We, the Americans, big, huge aircraft carriers, shows up the might, the majesty, like Donald Trump's infatuation with battleships. Russia, the same way, overwhelming numbers of people, blah, blah, blah. The war in Ukraine was supposed to last 4 weeks. We're in year 4.
We're year 4?
The war in Iran was supposed to last 3 days. We are now going into the 3rd month. What do these two nations have in common? One, the arrogance of their aggressors. The United States was arrogant as hell. They believed that a civilization, get this, that's been in existence for thousands of years, was just going to turn tail and run when we showed up. Mm-hmm. Thousands of years. Okay. Then on top of that, they actually, Russia thinks, Ukrainians used to work for us. Well, Ukrainians were the ones that gave you that mentality of kick ass, take names, if you know anything about the history, right? You thought you were just going to roll up in there and they're going to be like, yeah, take it.
Again, homegrown advantage. Like, right, they're defending a homeland. If there was any rallying around the flag that was going to happen in Iran, it was after the U.S. arbitrarily attacked Iran. Right? I mean, and then eliminated the older guard that was actually more conservative. And here's an example when I say that they were more conservative of how they reacted to Israel and the United States. So after Israel attacked inside Iran, after the United States attacked inside Iran for the Fordo strikes, right? Like the nuclear bunker buster bomb thing that was a big deal for a week.
Yep.
Iran had to retaliate and save face, but they did that at empty U.S. military installations. They did that in the middle of nowhere. And they said, great, we responded. Done.
Right.
So like they're saving face, but that's like a conservative response. They could have done much more like, okay, this round is done. Everybody's happy. Got it. That is not who is in place right now.
Right.
What we have in place right now is the, regime jihadi John Wick, who's like, you killed my dad, my mother, my wife, my brother, like grandkids, my
wiped out the entire bloodline, basically.
And he's only in his 50s.
Yep.
What else he got to do? Nobody in the regime has ever cared about the people of Iran suffering. So great, continue the sanctions. The sanctions have been there for decades anyway.
Wow.
And now they have a revenge fantasy and a revenge story on their home territory.
Wow. I've not thought of it that way.
Gonna go?
Dude, you just said the jihadi John Wick, and you're absolutely right. You wiped out everybody, to include the dog. And what do you have? Bruh. And you have radicalized people that may have been moderate too.